Hi, I'm Sophie, and I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Hi, I'm Paul, and I'm here to help with that. And we are
SP Film Viewers.
So here we are, the last instalment of our themed month of films that Paul studied in film studies. And today we're going to be talking about, I'd say probably one of the favourite ones we looked at in
Oh
Paul
yeah,
film studies.
I can imagine that sixth form people would have loved this film.
Yeah, and that is City of God, a Brazilian film, and sad to sort of say that it's like the only one I've really seen. Not really ventured into that market so much, but
Same, really is. Obviously, I think I've seen a French film, so the second film I've seen of it being in French.
Hong Kong film. No.
Yeah. Obviously, Japanese, like, I probably can count them more than on my hand.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen a Spanish one yet, though, have we?
Oh, no, I don't know if that would be really hard. I don't know.
Or Italian, no.
I feel like they would speak really, really fast.
Uh-huh.
Especially Spanish, like if you were having an argument.
Yeah. Although, technically, we keep banging on about this as well, or bringing it up, rather. The House in Berlin, which is technically a German film, but again, you probably won't even remember anything about that, really, do you?
I didn't struggle with the subtitles, I know that for sure. I just struggled with the film in itself.
Yeah. But what brief overview? What did you struggle with this one?
Subtitle wise, or
subtitle, or just in general?
I think obviously, when there's arguments and it's getting a bit heated, that's when like there's a lot going on.
Well, yeah, that's like.
And
anything, isn't it?
Then you have to read as well.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of scenes where it's like you kind of just get the gist of things that are going on, and a lot of when it's getting a bit busybody-ish. Like it's like there's one scene where it's further to the end where they're in a nightclub and it's getting like the lights are kind of strobing, and then you're like trying to look what's going on, and then there's some subtitles, and you're like, yeah.
A visual explosion almost, like to the senses, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's similar to what we had with Chunking's Express, where he's running and it's... Yeah. I think sometimes, just for me, because I'm dyslexic and I take a little bit of slower time reading than Paul. Paul can like literally read a page, and I'll still be just like probably on the first paragraph. So you have to bear that in mind when I'm saying this. Obviously, if you're an avid reader, then this is not going to be an issue, I don't think, for some lucky people out there.
I guess.
So, the first opening scene that we get to.
Immediate fast cuts that we've got going on.
Don't you just feel for the chicken, though?
Yeah, he knows what's up.
He knows what's going on, and he's like, a chicken run, literally. He's like, I'm not having this.
I don't know if you recall from... it's a good point, actually, with the chicken run thing. But do you remember from playing Fable, the Xbox game? Yeah. There's like the thing that they refer to as chicken chaser, or as like a nickname for a thing, and there's like a thing. One of the games that started with that, like a chicken escaping from a kitchen or something. Yeah. It's like a thing, so like a similar.
Do you know what? That just reminds me of like a blast from the past when you were saying that, because didn't you lend me the games when we first were dating? Yeah. I don't know what you just did there, but you just took me back. I felt really young.
Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying about how it's quite intense and everything, because there's like this whole situation where everyone's like, oh, get the chicken, and it's all this running around kind of stuff, and all subtitles coming up on the screen and stuff, and just like, whoa, what's going on? This is really intense.
Really fast-paced.
Yeah.
And then a little bit I'm like, oh, am I going to get confused here? Because it's like what you see at the beginning, which you don't know at the beginning, is technically the ending part-ish. You kind of go around in a full circle.
Yeah, it's kind of like a how did we get here type of thing.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. But let's take you all the way back to where it all started. Yeah. So.
And it was a little bit like, oh, so you're kind of rewatching the same scene. I still want to know what happened to the chicken. Is he alive? Is he okay?
These are the important questions that Sophie has to answer. Animal cruelty.
Yeah. Like, do you think he survived?
He probably did, but he might end up in a stew or something later on, maybe.
Oh no! I think he. This is how Chicken Run got created. But I really stuff like this makes me not want to eat meat, and I know I'm such a cliche because like if I had to go out and be like a person to get my own food and own meat, I don't think I could do it. But bad as it may seem, if it's easily available to me, then I gladly would eat a chicken, but I don't really try and associate it when I'm eating it.
Yeah.
But these people, obviously, they're sharpening the knives. It's cutthroat pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole, as we've discussed and as you've seen it, the whole film is almost pretty much cutthroat, isn't it? Society that they live in.
It's scary, like, to think of how that life is a possibility because it's based. Is it a real story?
Based on a real story, yeah. And most of the actors are in this had very little in terms of training, and so it's almost like they're just like randomers from the streets and such. So it's kind of like a parallel with like what we were saying about like how in like Breathless, for example, how just filming in that style, and then it's people just happen to be walking down the street. Obviously, they're not talking and everything, but they're a bit more, actually interacting with them, like almost like it is like a documentary style almost in.
So are they actually filming people who live in the slums?
Maybe partially, but I think there's obviously some more rhyme and reasons and structure to how they're reacting, because I'm sure obviously listening to people aren't actually being killed.
No, I hope not.
No, but it makes it feel a bit more real. Knowing that a sense of how things are in Rio, that aggressive and violent, and
it opened my eyes up to how scary guns can be. Like in the UK, guns aren't really freely accessible like they are in America.
No, you still hear stories about people getting shot. And
it's more like a knife, though, isn't it? To be fair,
knife crime.
It is more knife crime where we are because you can easily go to Asda and buy a knife, because you do need those for your food.
Yeah.
Whereas a gun, you can't just rock up and get one. And this scared me to the thought of where even little children, were getting shoved a gun in the hand in the end, and it's like, oh my god, like I don't even know how to shoot a gun. I don't even know if I want to really. I know you were about like a shoot gun range, which is fine because that's in like a safe environment.
Yeah.
But
these kids have just been handed them like left, right, and centre.
No education on. You point, you aim here, just
learn on the job type of thing with these kind of things, and just like, you want to be cool. Here's like, obviously they do like be smoking like marijuana and stuff, but handing them out like cigarettes to you want to be cool. Here's a gun, and just
it's ridiculous.
Now you're a badass kind of thing. So so the story sort of like takes us way back to the 60s. When all these are our main characters and everything that we're sort of introduced to, building up on the story.
They're not really that main for that long, though, are they?
So, some of them aren't, no. But you kind of like having all these array of.
It's all kind of building up the story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas actually, your main man is Rocket.
Yeah.
Which he's the goodie in it all.
Yeah, he's the hero in all this. Yeah.
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 And then you've got all these kind of idiots that build up the rest of the story, because without them and without their mistakes, Rocket wouldn't be where he is today, which... So he has to be grateful for him, really. So you've got... Initially, Rocket's opening it up with his brother and the hoodlums. And these guys, like, basically... I think they're trying to do well for the actual city. They kind of, if somebody comes in, they'll rob, like, I think it was like a milk van or something like that.
Yeah, and stuff for gas and stuff. Yeah, things like that.
And they're taking money, but they're giving it. It's a little bit like Robin Hood.
In a sense, yeah. Because, like, this part of Rio, which is called City of God, where any homeless people live, that's just where you go, really. So it's really the slums of Brazil. So, yeah, we've got the main adult, or young adults, should we say, the thing, the tender trio. We've got Shaggy, wasn't me, Clipper, and Goose, Goose is the brother of Rocket.
And then you've got Little Dice as well, don't forget him.
Yeah.
He's technically part of
Well, he's trying to be, isn't he? He's wanting to be that he's the real, like, bad seed.
Oh, isn't he just? So, Goose is Rocket's brother. Shaggy, is he the one that hooks up with that girl?
Yeah. Kind of, like, falls in love with it at first sight. Like,
he thinks he falls in love with her, but it's something in his pants.
Was it Bernice? I think her name is,
Yeah. And the other one? He goes
Clipper.
back to church.
Yeah, he kind of turns good, after this whole stint with this motel heist that goes wrong. Kind of, like, has a vision and, like, converts himself to Christianity or, like, seeing God.
So they want to kind of... The reason why they're doing this is to get money, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they want to get out of the slums. They want to better themselves, but obviously it's not the right way to do it.
No.
But Rocket's brother actually says, doesn't he, that basically the reason why he's doing it is he hasn't got any brains. So he has to kind of do what he can do with his physical body. Whereas Rocket is quite intelligent and he can go to school and he can get a job. Whereas Goose is a bit more... It's more manual kind of things that he's better at.
Yeah. So there's a good relationship there, isn't it? It's not like a brother picking on the younger brother or anything like that. He's obviously trying to look out for him and seeing what's best for him. So that's good in that sense.
And I think he does want to do his brother. He wants his brother to do well.
Yeah.
But he's going down this wrong path.
Yeah.
So you kind of get these guys thinking that they're amazing. This really cool because of what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're helping the family out. They're passing money around. But then Little Dice thinks he's got a better mission to make a bit more money.
This is this motel joint,
Is this like a sex den hotel? Like, why was everyone like having orgies and...
Yeah, it was like a sleazy motel, isn't it, really? Just for...
It's straight away when we walked into the hotel, it reminded me of something like Game of Thrones, like a brothel kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, It would be that kind of place,
I didn't really expect this kind of hotel. I was like, what is going on? So it's a bit traumatic, like the thought of that kind of like you in the moment, kind of with your man in a hotel, and then this man comes in pointing a gun at you, wanting all your stuff. It's like, what a mixed bag of emotions are you going through there?
Well, I guess, but it's not like that's like a common occurrence, or at least you hope not.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, you're in the middle of it, and then...
Well, you certainly wouldn't carry on, would you?
No.
We don't know, unless that's what you're into, but,
Oh, Jesus.
Each to their own.
I just think it's a bit... I lock your doors. Why ain't your door locked? That's my other question.
That's a fair comment, yeah.
Like, did they not have locks back in the 60s? I'm pretty sure they did, so...
Free love and all that, I don't know.
So, what they're trying to do is just take the money, like, point the gun, but not actually shoot anyone innocent. And Little Dice is the lookout, which he's not best pleased with, is he?
Well, no, because it's his idea and everything, and he's like, oh, I shouldn't be out here just doing this. I want to be part of the action type of thing. So we don't know about this whole situation right away, but because we hear like gunshots and everything, so which is obviously he's been told to do if he spots the cops. So they assume when they're inside the building that there's things that they kind of like take what they can and leg it, and then like, where's Little Dice gone? Don't know where he is. Well, we'll just have to get out of here type of thing. So that no, it's like, say, one of them having the revelation of changing paths and being all holy and everything. Don't want to do this anymore type of thing. But his means of kind of like going past that is almost like he just like when the police kind of like find him later on, he like shout like, "Hey, you," kind of thing, and this other person, this bystander's like just runs away thinking they're after him.
Yeah.
But he Clever just keeps on walking like, oh, it's nothing to do with me. Like things like, if I just carry on as if I'm innocent, then I must be fine. Like he's almost like protected.
Yeah.
Because he's now changed his way. So he's like, God's now protect him and everything. But
I felt sorry for the guy though that got killed instead because he was innocent.
Yeah.
And that annoys me, and it still goes on today. With certain circumstances, and it's not right. It's not. It shouldn't be happening.
No, and especially the fact that the cops are like, oh well, this guy wasn't a gang member. They're kind of like planting something on, and like, oh, he is now, type of thing. So like, well, like we're innocent now as well. We didn't mean to.
No, but they shouldn't jump the gun with it. Really, that's literally it. You should be getting your information and doing your job before you just pull the trigger.
Yeah. But there's a lot of instances where, like the townspeople are like, when something goes wrong and someone asks who did this, and you're kind of like, I don't know, I didn't see anything, even though they clearly did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
they
that
cover
kind
each
of
other's backs, don't they?
They don't want to get in trouble or thing, because it gets to a point where the police are coming in more frequently, and they kind of just, again, it's that sort of like racism there, like thing like, oh well, you're black, so therefore you must be causing trouble for no reason and just taking you away because they can, type of thing, and that still goes on today as well. It's just kind of
it's horrible, it really is. But then another side of it is as well, with them not talking, is which one would you rather have? Like, dob somebody in, and like if they're a gang member, then they're going to be after you, or have the police kind of be a bit. It's like trying to weigh up your options, isn't it? It's a really crappy situation to be in.
You can't win.
Yeah, you really couldn't.
No.
Like either way, somebody would be after you.
Yeah, or your family or something like that.
If anything, I'd go against the police, to be fair, because I wouldn't want a gang member after me. So it comes established that little Dice is sick and twisted, and he's only about 10 years old at this point. Like, what I would like to know what his life and upbringing was. Like, does he not have any parents? Why is he like this?
Yeah, why is he so sadistic?
At 10 years old, like, literally, you should be playing with cars or something, like, if you were little, like, or Barbies if you were a girl. I know they might not have that, but
no, they definitely
just go
didn't.
play football or be a kid. But he's not, is he? He's far from a kid.
It's that kind of mentality of seeing what the cool kids in quotation marks are doing. They're older than you and thinking, yeah, that looks sick, bruv. I'm gonna do that.
And to be fair, he's smoking joints and stuff, and it's like, this can't be good for your body. You're not even grown.
Yeah, no, your lungs aren't even developed. And
it's like, Jesus.
But yeah, it's quite shocking. Like when you see like he's just there shooting people and he's kind of like laughing maniacally and just carries on throughout the thing. There's this whole massacre at the motel.
But there must be, and I think this is me being a bit of a loving like any kind of Shutter Island or anything like that, because I like to understand behind it. It's like when we watched The Joker, I got it, and I really sympathised with the Joker, and I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. I understand. I like not justifying it, but it's you're able to relate a little bit and understand why he might be the way he is. Whereas like with Little Dice, he's only 10. Like, why is that? Unless it is the slum and the life that he's living.
Oh yeah, it's like most criminals, you might do the same thing, but it doesn't justify them. Oh well, that's okay because you had a tough upbringing. It's all right for you to kill somebody. That's not. No, that's not the way we're saying this at all. But
it helps to relate to them a little bit, to understand.
Try and understand, but it's still not right at the end of the day.
Because it does make me think, well, what's gone on? Because there's always something, isn't there? You never just do something for no reason. No. Unless he's just sick and twisted. But I don't think anyone's born that way.
No one's born evil.
No.
It's how you're brought up.
Yeah, it's the same with a dog, isn't it?
Yeah.
No dog is evil.
Yeah.
Like, unless, like my sister's got a Staffy. Like, everyone will think, oh, Staffy.
Yeah.
They're like fighting dogs, and it's like, no, it's how you raise them. So he shoots all these people that are innocent, and then it's like, what the heck? You're 10. But then he just gets off, runs away. Everyone thinks he's dead. And the police are coming in and trying to get after everybody. Goose ends up dying, doesn't he?
Yeah, because it's like 3 months on that this is still going on. The cops are, like I say, they're coming by the slums and everything just to like try and find like who were the people who did this massacre. Everything's still an ongoing investigation. Goose dies.
Shaggy dies as well.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Goose dies because of Little Dice. Yeah. You kind of like learn at the almost like back end really of that, because when he finds him after he's running away from sleeping with what's he called now?
I forgot.
Shorty. Yeah, Shorty. His wife. Shorty end up killing his wife because of him sleeping around and everything. Yeah, so then once Goose is off running around, he comes across Little Dice. It's like, oh, give me the money kind of thing, and it's like, oh no, you forgot your gun, to Goose, and then he turns the gun on him and then shoots him. So then, his brother dying, and so the sadistic thing carries on with that. But yeah, Shaggy also is trying to get away with Bernice to a better lifestyle, but cops realise that's one of the people who are doing the heist type of thing, so he ends up dying.
He does. It's quite traumatic, that is, and bless her. I don't know where she ends up, really. I know we do see her again, but obviously she's not got out of the city because she's saying stop the car, but the car's still going at this point.
Yeah. And then we sort of then flash forward a little bit after a little montage of Lil Dice doing that low angle shooting down and see him as more of an adult. It's just
only 18 though, so not really. Still. I know people think you can legally drink and do all this in the UK, but it's you're still not an adult, are you?
Yeah. I don't know if I know 21 is a legal drinking age in America, but I don't know if that equates to South America.
I don't think so. Don't think it mattered in this movie. If you can
certainly not.
Smoke a joint at 10 years old, then I'm pretty sure you can have a beer.
Yeah. Now we're in the 70s. You see the older Rocket and everybody as well,
So I want to know why Little Dice becomes Little Z or Little Z, or
I think it's Little Z because of the hyphen above the E.
So what is this weird scene where there's this man down an alley in a chair or something?
I think it's
wheelchair.
like a ritual, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah. And he decides...
sort of wants to be his rebirth or something,
He's been baptised or something. Or brought back from the dead?
In a weird way, yeah. Kind of right, I want to be seen more as a grown-up. I don't want to be called Little Dice anymore. I be referred to as this more powerful form, I guess.
I think I prefer Little Dice, though.
Really?
I like the name better.
Right, yeah. Sounds like a rap name.
Yeah, it does. Like Lil Zay, or Z.
Well, I guess you can have Little John and Little...
Well, initially I
Little
thought...
Dicky and...
I thought Little Dice was called Little Dicky, didn't I?
Little everybody, Little Pump, yeah.
Why Little, though? That's making you, belittling you, isn't it?
I guess so. I don't know. It's
Little
just
Soph?
Little Soph. Little P. Yeah.
So, am I correct in thinking he does get put in prison for this mass out shooting?
Who?
Little Dice.
No.
Doesn't. So he doesn't get put in prison.
No, he gets away with it.
Gets away with it because he's 10 years old. Sadistic.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows about this. Him being the cause of it all. He just gets away
because all the hooligans have gone, or hoodlums.
Yeah. Because they can pin them to that at the crime scene and all that.
So he kind of becomes the most respected man within the City of Gods. Pretty much,
Well, I wouldn't say go as far as respected. More just feared.
Feared, yeah. But he's
he's the boss of the things. Although there's this other turf war battle type thing, with this guy called Carrot, who's is obviously also selling drugs and
I love the fact that he's called Carrot. I know it sounds horrible, but he's the palest man in the world, and he's got gingerish, reddish, brown hair, and it's that's why they're calling him a carrot, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
So Little Zay or Little Z, he basically thinks, "Oh, I've got a cracking idea. I've seen these guys that are drug dealers. They've got gold round their necks. They've got birds. They've got vehicles. I'm going to shoot all of them and take their...
Over their drug business, yeah.
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 Now, anyone that's listening who's a child, this is not a good idea. This is not a thing of how you go up the ladder.
Children listen to this, but...
I hope not just for this version. Also, do what Rocket did. That's how you get a career. You don't just step into the best job in the world. You've got to do the coffee. You've got to do the push. You've got to do the crappy little jobs.
Yeah.
To work your way up to get to a level, which obviously Little Zay just thinks he's made for it already. Yeah. And you can tell with his bratty ways that he's not, because he has such tantrums.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
And
I think it's just pointing a gun and everything is kind of I'll just get my way type of thing. Yeah. You just shoot and that resolves everything.
It's like a baby. If I cry, do my crocodile tears, then everyone's going to do what I want. Yeah. But thank God for Benny.
Yeah, he's kind of his sort of the good cop to the bad cop, I suppose, if you want to put it like that. Yeah, more like a sense of reasoning with you, kind of calming down, just take it easy, man, type of thing.
Yeah.
because he seems a bit more like peace and love attitude anyway.
He seems more straight-minded. He's not in for it for the kind of fear, and he wants to just be friends with everybody, doesn't he?
Yeah. Everyone sort of respects him more than they do in a nice way, rather than through fear.
Yeah.
Than Lil Zay. So that's,
and they want to go to him. They feel like
they can approach him to ask him for like, can I buy some drugs or whatever.
Yeah.
And it, that seems the better way of going about it, rather than being like, oh, buy drugs from Lil Zay, and like be a bit more scared of it, really. But there's the whole bit, isn't there? Obviously, the history of the drug house, kind of like with that layered over, like, like seeing it from as the years have gone on and on, and then you get this kind of like continuous, almost like you had in Jackie Brown, where it's kind of like the different perspectives of seeing the knock on the door and it's Lil Zay coming through, and then from that person's perspective and all that kind of stuff and all that going on. What did you make of that? Like, as a stylistic choice?
Yeah, no, it worked really well, I think, for it. It shows and portrays the story in different limelights. You're not really walking in anybody's shoes, even though Rocket somewhat narrates a little bit.
Yeah.
It's actually weirdly not as much to do with Rocket for the main film that you're watching.
Yeah, he's obviously a bystander in all this, really.
Yeah,
but
he's more like a side character though than the main, even though he is the main character.
Yeah.
It's cleverly filmed with the way it is done throughout. It's really clever. I think it can get a little bit sometimes though for me when I was like trying to figure things out. I don't know if it's just because obviously you're reading as well.
Right.
That when it was like, wait a minute, what's happening, when it was cutting a little bit to kind of different perspectives. But no, it really works.
It's more down the line though, when on this time I was noticing a bit more like when the camera was doing like a quick like zoom focus, like pan type of thing, where it's going like whoosh, almost like zoom in on a character's face and something. That was kind of a don't know what I feel about that as a term of camera movement or whatever, but
is it more for like kind of if on Little Zay?
Yeah, or something like that, walking down an alleyway type of thing. There was a scene later on where
his face is a little bit scary though. Like he looks like he wants to kill everything. It's that, so when it does zoom in, it is a bit petrifying to see his rage just like at scale 10. It's
but just certain things like that. I was like, I don't know. That did kind of annoy me a little bit.
Really?
Not so much annoy, but I think it's just a bit of like,
it's not necessary.
Yeah, I don't know. It just
over exaggerating a little bit.
For a style choice for that work is but I don't know. It's more of the time period and thinking it was kind of innovative, cool. I don't know, but
possibly.
Yeah. Not to take anything away from that on the fact, but just little tiny things like that did catch my eye. I didn't even notice it
until you pointed it out, and then I know that there was a lot of zoom in on Lil Zay's face.
But
we do have, bless him, Rocket wanting to date this girl.
Yeah, Angelica.
She's not very angelic though, is she?
Is anybody?
Yes, me.
In this film?
Oh, no.
No, you are.
Thank you. But sadly, Benny is quite an attractive kind of character. I can understand why a girl would like Benny. He's friends with everybody. And Rocket, bless him, he's the shy guy. He's a bit like you.
And he takes a lot of photographs, doesn't he?
He does. He does.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed seeing the old cameras going through the stages. You know me, I'm quite sad. You straight away said to me, is that a film camera? I'm like, yes, of course it is. I could tell just where they was moving it, clicking it, reeling it on.
But I did have to try to ask you, what brand is it? Obviously, it probably wouldn't be a Canon or a Nikon at that point.
I feel like it was more, well, you've got Kodak, you've got Olympus. I feel like they would have been more your top brands back then. Definitely Kodak. They were. Everyone had Kodak.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think that was one of the main things within this film that I truly enjoyed. Anything with the dark room, and I'm like, I'm sold. Because that's just like one of my happiest places. The colour dark room is amazing. It's the darkest room ever. Black and white, you can get away with those red lights. And they annoy me because it's like, it's not dark enough. but it's a bit eerie.
Which I imagine you probably like, oh, I'm scared, there could be somebody in here type of thing.
Well, or I used to go in first of all with the lights on.
Right.
But there used to be some prats, like, in college that used to, like, creep in through the door, and it's like, I can hear the door moving, I know you there.
Yeah.
Because it was this windy door, so, like, no light could go in. And, like, I know you've come in, I can hear the door. And they'll just stand and be silent. I'm like, you know you're there.
No.
And then they'd end up just going, boom, like that at you. And then I did hit one guy in his blow area. Not on purpose. But I screamed because he and then my fist went like that. So yeah, so it's dangerous is a dark room as well, but it is lovely. Sorry, we digress.
Well, it's around this point anyway, we kind of also learn about, well, it's not uncommon for this type in films anyway, like, bribing the police to, like, look the other way and all that kind of stuff in these kind of, like, gang situations, like, to, we'll give you some bit of the money that we're earning here just to keep us off our backs, really, and you just carry on about your business. And the fact that we also got these, what characters were referred to as the runts, really, kind of like the very, very young.
Oh, they're so annoying, aren't they?
They're like destroying the shop and stuff, stealing.
I think this is the thing where the hoodlums, they were like a Robin Hood character. They wanted to do good for the slums, and they would fish it out. The runts, they're taking off the poor already. It's like, that's horrible. Like, that's low. Yeah, take off the rich. I know I shouldn't be encouraging anything, but at least you're giving it back to the poor who need it. Whereas this is taking off somebody who's no better off than yourself, which is, they're working hard for it and they aren't, and that's just not fair.
No, but it ultimately leads to them running into Lil Dice in this situation. He corners a couple of them.
Oh, I can't watch this scene. No wonder I haven't wrote anything down about it, because it did...
you were like, oh, this is horrible kind of thing. It's like saying to two of them, like, one of them called Steak.
Yeah.
Like...
Was the other one called Chips?
To these other two ones that he got cornered, like, right, pick one, shoot them. Shoot them shoot them in the hand, or shoot them in the foot first.
Which one would you prefer? I think I want my hand. I'd give him me right hand because I write with my left. I don't know,
to be honest.
You need to walk. What if he shoots you in your big toe and then you balance? You'd be off. You might not be able to ever walk again.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I feel like your hands are picking stuff up at me. Yeah, I don't know. Where's my foot? If it was just my foot in the middle of my foot, maybe it'd be alright. But don't know. Anyway,
I'm going my hand.
I'm going foot. But and then he's then told to like pick one to kill just because type of thing, and it's this one of the kids is like really like going and crying, like
it's only little, bless him. It's like really tiny. It's like no one deserves to die that young. Yeah. They really don't.
But they did a good way of like, obviously they shoot the kid, but they don't show him like going.
I couldn't look. So it's
couldn't. Kind of like subtly done, I guess, in a sense. So it's
that kid bawling its eyes out. I was like, he's going to shoot him. He's going to shoot the little boy that's like proper snivelling, and I'm like, I can't watch this. I'm glad he killed the other one because that's what I'd have done. I know it sounds horrible, but he didn't seem as scared for life passing him by.
Right. So that happens, and it's a bit that's like it's just way too harsh and twisted.
Steak's not even that old.
No, exactly. But
and he really doesn't want to do it either.
Pressure, but...
I hate peer pressure.
Yeah.
I am the one that at university somebody was like, "Oh, have a cig," and you know what? My mum and dad smoke. I'm not anti-smokist or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Been brought up with it my entire life.
Yeah.
But I hate anyone forcing me to do something that I do not want to do. I'm stubborn.
Yeah, it's a good mentality.
I hate it. I will be like, no, you're all right. I don't want it.
Yeah.
He was persistent, and if I wasn't as stubborn as I am, I could be paying for them now because I'd be hooked. So I just don't get peer pressure. I don't get it. I just think, well, just be yourself. That's the best thing you can be.
But what would you do in that? Would you be like, no, fuck off, little Z, I'm not going to shoot you? I'm
going to shoot him. That's what I'd do. Boom.
And then someone would shoot you because they'd be like, oh.
No, because he's dead. So then they'd be all fearful of me.
Well.
They would. They'd be like, oh my God. They just he just killed Lil Zay. Now everyone's going to be bowing down to him. No, that's not how it works in gang culture.
Well, yeah, it kind of is, but yeah, it's whether how your quick reflexes on that would have really worked in that sense. It's easy to say, oh yeah, I'll just go around and go.
Yeah.
Turn around, shoot him, and go. Yeah, do all try chopping like all that stuff. But
cowboy shootout.
Yeah, you said.
Oh, what would you have shot him?
Yeah, fucking be like a little pussy and just I'll just do it just to save my face really and be like, yeah, I'm a hard guy kind of thing. But anyway,
when we have a child, we'll knock that out of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Between us both, they'll get the right balance, won't they?
Yeah. So then we eventually get to seeing a little bit more Rocket and him trying to get money together to buy a camera and just kind of get out of the thing. So he's trying to also be like rob places and stuff, but he's got too much of a good guy mentality and can't do it.
I know, bless him. And he does lose his job because of the runts as well.
Yeah.
Because is it working in a supermarket?
Yeah, and I think they're associated with him again. It's like kind of like by association, you must be one of them type of things.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's horrible because that still happens nowadays. Like, people just assume things without knowing the facts. And it's like, poor Rocket, he's just a lovely, nice guy that just wants a job and just wants to earn his keep.
Yeah, so we kind of run across this other character through this means of doing this called Knockout Ned.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I really like him.
Yeah.
Like, the ending of this film, I was a bit like, oh, I didn't really realise where it was going to go. I'm not disappointed, but I thought that this was going to be a bit of a different story. Mm-hmm. So Knockout Ned, you meet him initially on the bus, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to, yeah.
And he's a lovely guy. He's got a girlfriend. He's working hard for a living. Mm-hmm. He's telling Rocket and his friends that if you're wanting to get out of the slums, you need to start by getting a job, save up a little bit of money, and then you can move out kind of thing. So I don't know if he's actually living still in the slums or if he's...
Sort of, maybe the nicer part. Because he's still, living with what you see him, his house later with his parents and his brothers and all that kind of stuff. So it's not super glamorous, but I guess nowhere seems to be in this location. But we obviously come to this, what you were referring to earlier about the party where, Benny's farewell, as the captions say.
That just gives it away for me. I straight away went, what, does Benny die? Didn't I?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like a farewell party. Yeah. I'm thinking farewell
as in... a bit of a both, yeah.
I straight away knew he was going to die. Yeah. But
I think he probably figured out, well, half the characters are dying anyway, so no one's kind of safe. It's a bit like Game of Thrones or something like that.
I didn't know if Little Zay was going to betray him. I didn't know how that relationship was going to go because he really loved Benny.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't think he...
And he loved Zay despite his kookiness, but if you want to call it kookiness, craziness more like.
Yeah, definitely. But I think Little Zay could, with his mentality, be like, you're leaving me.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not gonna...
Yeah, yeah. It's, if I can't have you, no one can.
Yeah, and I thought that's how it was going to pan out. But there's another twist, isn't there, to the whole story? Mm-hmm. Is it Blackie?
Yeah.
That wanted to shoot Little Zay?
Yeah, because this whole turf war and stuff, because he took over his business before to his crack den or whatever you want to call it.
But really, he just gave it him. He walked out. He didn't put up a fight, so don't then shoot somebody in a party environment where there's strobe lights and no one can see what's going on.
Yeah, I always find there's scenes really distorting anyway, like how it's all flashing around. It kind of makes everything look weird and trippy. And
you can't really see what's going on. Like if you had epileptic fits, you would struggle massively with that.
Absolutely, but
you should have a warning sign on it.
Well, they probably would if it were in cinemas, I assume.
Yeah.
But alas, sadly, Benny does end up getting shot accidentally because of this, because obviously it's probably not the best time trying to be shooting. So, well, I guess it's kind of like the cover of darkness, essentially, but it's like maybe when it's just lights are normal rather than flashing.
Yeah, but then people can see who has done it.
Yeah, unless he was very in close proximity as opposed to like halfway across the room.
Yeah, then, like just kind of bump into him and
in the back. And not so we're conducting like giving people ideas on how to kill people. But,
no. That's not what we're here for. But poor Benny, he's a really nice character, and you just think, oh God, if Benny's dead, what's little Zay going to be like now? Who's going to be the good guy?
Who's for his sanity,
Who's going to be the one that holds the peace? Who's going to be the one that right, okay, that's enough now. Mm-hmm. We don't need to be carrying on.
Yeah.
There's no off switch now. The full mental case of little Zay just...
Yeah. And everything sort of like escalates from there. Then it's like a full vendetta turf war thing going on with Lil Zay and Carrot. And saying there's all this kind of like
no one's safe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it blows out of proportion. Really, like.
Also, we haven't referred to that Lil Zay is not very good with girls.
No, he's not. I think his reputation puts him in bad stead.
Don't get me wrong. Benny looks like one of those party rocker guys. Everybody's
in the house tonight. Yeah, whatever they were called.
Everybody's shuffling.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
And he's really fly. He's like one of those kind of slick guys it's like, you would want to date. Whereas Lil Zay is one of those more rapey kind of men. Like you have
and he does as well, doesn't he? With Knockout Ned's girl. So it's like,
which is not right.
Yeah.
And then obviously he then wonders why he hasn't killed Knockout Ned, and he should have done, really, to be fair, because this whole animosity...
that was the bit, I think it was where that camera's doing that zoomy scan thing, whatever. But
he should have killed Knockout Ned in the first place, and then he would still be his turf, but then this whole war comes out because, like, why didn't I kill that guy? Like, I don't know, why didn't you? So we get to a point of where Knockout Ned joins Carrot.
Yeah.
And he's kind of seeking revenge now. He's kind of was a good guy. And he says, don't kill any innocent people.
Yeah. And then he makes the thing of saying, the exception to the rule. And then the rule becomes the exception, like when it's like, he was going to kill me. But then it's like it's a point where, just kill him now because it's just easier to anyone who's causing a bit of trouble when they're doing these bank heists and all that stuff.
But that actually kind of kicks him in the back, doesn't it?
Ironically, it kind of like gets him in trouble down the line in this part where we're kind of coming back to full circle to where we started at the beginning of the film, really. And also at this point, it's like Rocket is in the street, we like get the chicken type of thing, and he's in between, a rock and a hard place almost, with the cops behind him, and then Zay and his gang head. And at this point, he's also been taking pictures of Lil Zay because he's like, why aren't we facing the pictures?
Because Knockout Ned's was...
Yeah, but, telling them about all this gang war stuff. So, Rocket's making a name for himself.
Yeah, and good on Rocket because he's got a little job going on, he's put some film in, he's getting pictures now, he's getting paid, he's becoming like a real photographer.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, though, Little Zay kind of gives him the camera that was intentionally his, and Benny wouldn't have died if he hadn't have around not wanting Rocket to have the camera. In hindsight.
Right.
But full circle comes round for Rocket, which is lovely to see. Obviously, you do get to a point of where you've got Knockout Ned shot and betrayed by somebody on his side. You get it where Knockout Ned, bless him, he loves children and he doesn't like the fact that the younger ones are getting involved in this. And he's always where it gets to a point of when he sees a younger one, he closes their eyes. He's like, why did you, why didn't you just stay at home kind of thing?
Yeah.
And there's one child that happens again, isn't it? Where he's close to them, it's on his side, but...
he wanted revenge on his father's murderer. Yeah. Which happened to be Ned at this bank that he was robbing, So
he actually gets shot by a boy. So he kind of gets it's his weakness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really. Which is sad. So I didn't think he was going to die either. I thought he was going to be the hero of the story. I don't know if you did when you first watched it.
I felt fairly sure that Rocket was going to make it out alive at the end of it all, which he does, really. Because obviously he's a narrator type of thing, so it's kind of like he's safe. But you can never be totally sure as to who's gonna make it out of.
I didn't think the war would end by both of them being demised. I was thinking it was going to be more Knockout Ned was going to take Little Zay's place. So how Little Zay dies is quite funny.
But I was expecting you to be like, obviously, a point where Little Zay gets kind of like out in the cops kind of take him away for a moment, and you're thinking, right, they're going to like just lock him up kind of thing, thinking, oh, he doesn't really he deserves more than just that kind of thing. But then Rocket then kind of follows the cops on a hunch, like, oh, I don't think this is playing right, because they turn into be crooked cops again. Yeah. So, like, just take all his money. He's got nothing left now, Little Zay, pretty much. Half of his gang is dead. And everything. So, Rocket's there to photographic evidence of all that kind of stuff, which obviously escalates his career. But like you say, yeah, there's a bit more to the last part of Little Zay's story arc, which is the runts come along and kind of like betray him, like sort of like Scar being betrayed by the hyenas at the end of Lion King. Obviously a bit more brutal in the sense of, well, obviously they did kill Scar in that, but it's, kind of like just...
I think as well, it's more brutal because Little Zay gives them the guns, like, for free, and then they use them against him.
So that's probably also payback for the fact that, like, probably killed one of their friends back in, when they was doing that thing earlier on. So, again, so now it's like this cycle repeating itself again with these younger kids now, like, now they're the gang leaders of the slum type of thing, or they're going to grow up to be that.
Yeah, or they hope to be, which is... Whereas you've got Rocket, who now is actually a photographer. So I'm guessing he's like a documentary photographer working for the newspaper. You did ask me the other night, didn't you, if I wanted to be...
one of those documentarian type photographers.
I don't think you quite expected my response, did you?
I didn't mean in the sense of like going to Vietnam or something and taking those kind of photos. I mean in just like the local newspaper type of story, putting jovial stories, not like super seriously like murder scene type things.
Now that you're saying that, do you know what's coming to my head? Is it the Afterlife?
Afterlife, yeah, that kind of thing.
I feel like I'd be a bit bored with that. I'd want a little bit more than that.
Excitement, yeah.
But I couldn't just photograph a dead person like
an autopsy, like a crime scene investigating type of thing. No,
I'd be too scared of something coming home with me. Like
what
the
do you mean?
Spirit or something of that person, like me taking a dead person's photo, that would just creep me out. I'm not going to lie.
You were meaning, this is like someone's guts are all over on the floor or
no,
something.
No, just like...
right,
I couldn't. It would freak me out.
Okay.
My consciousness would be like, this is morally wrong.
Okay.
Like, I don't think, like, the photo of Little Zay that Rocket did take... I don't think I want to see that, and I wouldn't want to photograph that.
Because I pay a lot of money to know that the fact that that's this.
Yeah, but
is
that? Do you feel like that's right? Like somebody's died, like.
No, but obviously one of the most powerful drug lords in the slums.
And the thought that person's going to get paid mega bucks for that picture, I don't know. It's just something doesn't sit with me right.
Easy money.
It is. It's like paparazzi photography. Don't even get me started.
That's just wrong.
The worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Like, just you getting kicks out of ruining people's lives. No. So that's why I'm not a photographer.
Okay. Well, that being said, then we'll go to the scoring.
So I've really enjoyed these films that Paul reviewed or watched.
Looked back,
in film studies. So thank you for that. It's been fun to watch.
You're welcome.
I do think that I really weirdly enjoyed the City of Gods. There was a couple of things that annoyed me, but it was home truth since how life can be. It's just me thinking that's just not the way it should be. And
no,
you can't fault it because it's on a true story. It's sadly it is the truth.
Happen,
and I know not everything can be rainbows and candy floss, sadly.
No.
Action, the story was solid. A lot of shooting.
Yeah.
For my
liking.
Drugs, yeah. Not that much sex, really, to be fair, a bit, but not like... It's two scenes, isn't there? Probably.
Most motel and nothing too explicit there. It's more just the blood and...
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So scoring-wise, obviously it's got a part of photography. I think I'm a bit like you. If there's a film about films, you're really happy. If there's a film about photography, that seems to entice me more.
Or an involvement with somebody, not just somebody with a camera, surely, with a scene, more of somebody who's using a camera as part of their character development.
Yeah. I'm like in a dark room, processing film.
Okay.
It just brings me back to my kind of nostalgia, so that always gives me a bit of an extra perk. I think I'm going to give it a solid 6.
A solid 6? That was not convincing at all.
A solid...
Don't just tell me what it is. Don't try and drag out like, oh...
It's a 9.
I'm very happy with that, actually.
I just wanted to make you go on an emotional roller coaster.
It's going to be a 7. It's going to be an 8. No. Well, I've been like you said an 8, to be honest, but I didn't know if you were going to go as high as a 9, which I'm quite happy about that you, despite all the what was involved in it, that you were going to put it that high, but that's quite surprising. So
you look so shocked. I want to take a photo of you.
Because that's my scoring as well.
Did I read your mind?
I don't know, maybe you did.
Oh, spooky. Don't think too much, will you?
No, it kind of reminds me of... Obviously, I didn't see it back at the same time or anything like that, but like a bit like the way the Goodfellas is told. It's kind of like that, with the way it's marrying up like the storylines of how, development of how we got from here to there with the business and all that kind of stuff. There's that side of things that I can see parallels with. That's a lot longer, but...
I've not seen that.
No. But it's more of a gangster, like an American gangster, Italian type.
As long as it's not Godfather, we're okay.
So that's maybe something for the future to look into. But yeah, I'd say like the visuals are still there. There's a lot of creativity. Just a couple of instances where the camera's like, it's not a thing. A bit, but I guess it's just a stylistic choice for a couple of scenes. But overall, it's like gives you that intense motion and everything.
It still feels quite modern as well. I know it's only 2000.
Yeah, it still feels relevant.
It still feels
That could have been, even if it wasn't set in the 60s, 70s. It could have been 2000s and beyond.
Yeah,
like when the film was made. So yeah, there's a lot of characters to play with, and you feel like you get enough sense of their storyline to develop, to like who they are, how they act,
and you do get a character where you do really root for them. So even though you like Benny a lot, you do like Rocket, and you want him to do well, and you don't want him to die, and seeing his career progress and like the side of where if you do put the work in, you can get
there's a bit of resolve. You can get a better life for yourself. So it's nice. Although you're still rocking around in that area, but you make of the situation what you can.
Yeah.
So
he's working his way up, isn't he? Mm-hmm. So out of all the films that we watched that Paul studied in film studies, which is your favourite? Well, I'm guessing we both got the same.
Yeah. I mean, I've still been thinking about last week's film, Breathless, again. Just like certain things going on that thing. So I think that if I saw that again, or I think that probably may creep to a 9. I don't know in terms of I gave it an 8 or 8.5 maybe lean towards, but I think I'm looking into getting that 4K version of it because I think I want to see how like sharp and black and white sharpness will look on that. I think that'll add more enjoyment to it.
Yeah.
To the thing, so it's like, I got the best version I can possibly have for that. So that's.
And then when they do 5K, but you'll be like, I want that version now.
It's like 3 seconds, I always touch them.
Obsessed.
Always looking for the best, but I think maybe on a par with those. I think City of God is still enjoyable because it's like so much going on story wise. There's so much jam packed, and it's never bored throughout that. You could say that about Breathless a little bit. It's like there's slow parts and everything, but I think more the black and white style of stuff like that.
It makes you kind of more appealed to it, doesn't it? It kind of gives that old school vibe.
Yeah. Chungking Express, I did enjoy all these ones we watched, but I think if I was to pick one that was the least pro, it might be Local Heroes, a bit more of a plain.
I agree. It was boring.
I know you did. That was the lowest one you gave.
It was just like, when's this film going to end? And like, I just,
yeah.
It just seemed to drag. I think then mine would be Chungking Express. I'm sorry, because I got so confused.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really get it.
So it's kind of like worked in a way that we've started from, for you, the weakest and then led up to the best.
Yeah,
which
really
is,
have.
I guess maybe subconsciously I was thinking that's maybe the way it was meant to go. I don't know. But
you know me better than you think.
Yeah.
Breathless, still, brilliant film. But I think City of God, it's got your action, it's got your characters. Breathless, I didn't like the man, did I? So,
Yeah.
Like,
we still gave it an 8 though, so that's what kind of threw me off when you kind of said, right.
I think that was more just because it was quite a nice way it was shot and it was clever.
Yeah, the visuals.
Not for the guy.
Yeah, not for the character. But this has got, City of God's got the character development and the
action.
Yeah.
And it's relevant, it's key, it's based on a true story, it's got photography. If you're wanting a good action-y kind of full-packed, intense...
Yeah, this is highly recommended. But you watch it again then?
Yeah.
Obviously not like...
Not
tomorrow.
straight away,
no. But
no.
Yeah, give it a year or so. Yeah. To revisit. Yeah, cool. Right. Well, and the other ones, would you like Breathless?
I'd watch Breathless again. Maybe...
Chungking Express.
Yeah.
But not Local Hero.
No. I don't think I'm going to get anything else out of doing another watch.
I guess I can understand what you mean.
There's nothing going to change. It's just going to be the same. Whereas all the rest, I feel like I could benefit of rewatching them and I would take something new away.
Mm-hmm. Right, well, we're back to no theme as such, really, other than...
Sophie hasn't seen them.
And more obviously come end of July with the birthday special like we did.
Paul's 32nd?
Yeah.
Special birthday. Where we do a movie trilogy.
Yeah,
trilogy. Not trilogy.
So for those who don't know, it's a film. We picked 3 films. One film that Sophie hasn't seen, like normal. One we've both seen, and one neither of us have seen. So we're both watching for the first time.
Yeah. It's really fun, actually. Really enjoy it. And then we get some snacks and we pretend we're in the cinema. Started when COVID happened with full lockdown and cinemas weren't open. And we're just carrying on. Yeah,
but it's a nice little theme and get more to talk about, really, in terms of the films. So, so that'll be back end of next. But, so a normal, what Sophie hasn't seen schedule of just random stuff.
No more subtitles!
For a while, yeah.
Please!
We'll probably go with something easier next time. So, thank you very much for listening to this episode. Hope you've enjoyed what we've been talking about this month. And, of course, you can go check out all our other episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, and wherever else you might get your podcasts from. And be sure to also check us out on Instagram and Twitter under the handle SP_filmviewers. Leave us a comment, leave suggestions of like films we maybe cover in this build-up, in this lead-up to 100th episode. We've got the back end of the year.
Yeah.
Doing my maths right. They'll be very much appreciated. And of course, any like reviews on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, wherever else you might be able to write nice reviews, helps us out very much in the long run. It does,
and it makes me smile. So that's always a perk if you can make somebody smile in the day.
And of course, if you want to help, if you want to donate any money towards our little show, then do reach out to us on Buy Me a Coffee page, which will be in the show notes and Linktree and all that stuff too.
I thought you were going to go, and all that jazz. I was waiting for it. You disappointed me.
Yeah. I wasn't going to do... That wasn't in my head, sorry.
I was waiting for the leg kicking and everything. But...
So, give us money, please. Or don't, just leave us a review. That's all we ask for, really.
Or like...
Yeah.
Like, I know sometimes people are really busy, so even just that you appreciate what we're doing is valuable to us, isn't it? It makes us smile.
It does. So thank you very much for listening, and we will speak to you next time.
Speak to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.